And as of today, I am proclaiming the Dusko, right? That you know what the Dusko is. I think those days are done, brother. I think those days are done. I think it's safe to rule that out and not judge Dusko based off of his beginning performances in the UFC. I think we've learned a couple of things, and I think he is impressed in a couple different facets of the game that at this point, you got to say, Dusko is that guy that we thought he was coming into the big show. It just took him a little minute to get there. Now, it's kind of almost the same story for Jordan Wright because we were so high on the Beverly Hills Ninja, bro. We were so high on this dude. And then you get flatlined a couple times, and then you're like, okay, this isn't good. Well, how do you see Jordan Wright taking complete command of this fight when you have a Dusko that is much more well-rounded, less powerful, but more technical of a fighter? How do you see Jordan Wright dictating command of this fight?
Man, with karate timing that Jordan Wright has, that bouncy, that in and out kind of flashy style that Jordan Wright can get going, I think it's going to give Dusko a lot of trouble in the motion. You know what I'm saying? Like the distance management that Dusko is going to have to somehow get around, find the timing of strike while you have Jordan Wright kind of blitzing in and out, jumping in and jumping out, tagging you up, and then dipping out to an angle that you're not going to be able to hit him at. I think that's what's going to do Jordan Wright the best right here. My biggest thing that worries me about both of these guys is when the punches and the kicks start flying, everybody from Uncle Chael all the way to your first karate instructor, hands up, chin down. That's always what everybody tells you. But both of these guys have a tendency to really start as the fight keeps going, just that chin start going up, hands start flying like a madman. Who's going to be the first one to succumb to their tendencies? That's really what's going to be the big one for me here, Derek. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a massive question, man. What it's going to come down to for me is who is going to be the most willing to stay within their game, right? So it's like kind of what you're saying. They're reverting to their natural tendencies, but to me, that's what's going to make it. And we've seen that listen, man, it's fair. Both of these fighters in their last five, 2-3, right? Lots of knockouts. Both of them getting knocked out, getting slumped up. But then you also just go and look at like who have these guys fought, and you're like, God damn, like who's mad? Like whose Cheerios are these dudes pissing, bro? Jordan Wright. Let's look at Jordan Wright, right? The Beverly Hills Ninja. His last loss, he got submitted by the Power Bar, Marc-Andre Barriault. Before that, you get knocked out by Bruno Silva. Like holy shit. And then the last loss prior to that, you get knocked out by Numanza, Joaquin Buckley. Brother, that's not just a cakewalk competition. But then you look at Dusko, and it's arguably worse. You got Punahele Soriano you get knocked out by. Then you fight Gregory Rodriguez, but lose a decision. We saw what Gregory Rodriguez did to Chidi Njokuani, right? But then guess what? His last fight, let's not forget, Chidi Njokuani, right? And then you get elbowed into, oblivion and slumped out, right? So you can argue both of these dudes have had insanely tough strength of schedule. But the question is, AJ, who had the tougher strength of schedule?
That's a hard one, man. I was just thinking of that the whole which one would I rather have of the two situations? And being slumped by Punahele Soriano probably is the one that does it for me, man. I'm good on that. Yeah. I would think Dusko has had a little bit harder. It's hard too because when he fought Chidi Njokuani, nobody knew who Chidi was. So nobody had any idea. I'm gonna stick with the slumping of Dusko, but man, what about you?
Yeah, no, it's Dusko, man. Just because you got Chidi and Njokuani and Puna, I mean, brother, like that's that's not fair. Either way, man. All right, listen. At the end of the day, I think Dusko, if he needed to get a takedown on Jordan Wright, he can get it done. I think he can mix it up a little bit more. He's much more well-rounded. I think Jordan Wright has massive power. I believe in his power, and I believe if he could truly connect on Dusko, he could really give him some problems. But I also believe that Dusko is just, like I said, you get in trouble, I don't think that he's just going to sit and just lay over, right? He's going to try to mix it up. He's going to try to do the natural tendencies. Jordan Wright believes in his skill set, though, right? It's just a little bit tough when all you can do is really land the big bomb. And I'm not saying that's all he's capable of. He's a fantastic fighter, very well-rounded himself. But I don't think if it comes down to a grappling match that's his strength, right? So let's just talk about it, man. I got Dusko. You got Jordan Wright. We're probably both going to go by TKO because that makes the most sense in this matchup. Why are you picking who you were picking?
Oh, man, this is why am I picking Jordan Wright? Goes down to both of the same things we've been talking about, man, of tendencies taking over in the fight. I think it's going to be harder for Dusko to stay away from getting into that kind of crazy battle when things start happening and hands just start flying. As if Jordan Wright, he's going to be a little bit more, not technical because that's a bad word for it, but and not composed either, because I don't see either of these fighters being composed, but a little more well within himself to be able to get the fight going. Man, and I just like the style of Jordan Wright a little bit more. So that's what I'm leaning towards on this one. This is a very, very close fight, and I can see it both ways as well. And for a lot of this card, it goes to the same vein. This one's a very, very close fight.
Yeah.
For me, though, that blitzing style really pushes me over the edge to see Jordan Wright fight. What about you? What made you decide on Dusko?
I picked Dusko because I think the strength of schedule has prepared him to face an opponent like Jordan Wright, because you can argue Jordan Wright probably has the least. And there's no way for me to say this without this coming off the wrong way, right? And I think Jordan Wright is the least skilled fighter of all of the fighters that Dusko Todorovic has fought in his last 5, right? And even the fights that he's won, right, where he bought, actually, I take that back. Daquan Townsend is very good, but I think Jordan Wright's a little bit better than that, right? Maki Pitolo, I mean, listen, he could still be in the UFC. He just had a couple of rough losses, but I think everybody that he's fought has been more well-rounded than Jordan Wright. So if all you're dealing with is the striking, I think Dusko is going to be able to circumnavigate that, more experienced. And because, I mean, they're both similarly experienced in terms of like MMA. I just think high-level experience for Dusko. So I like Dusko. I like the knockout. I think that he's going to be able to catch Jordan Wright when Jordan is just throwing one of those big bombs. But to make it very clear, I'm a big fan of Jordan Wright too, man. So I wish they could both win, but they can't. So I picked Dusko because I'm competing with you and I want to win. So that's what it is, brother. I got that plus 150 TKO. I do like that plus 300 TKO of Jordan Wright. Now the question is, what round do they get it done?
Ooh, yeah, plus TKO for Jordan Wright, man. And I'm going early round 2.
Okay. So you're taking the under. Over and under is 1.5, brother. I'm taking the under as well. I'm going round 1. And minus 215 for the under, plus 175 for the over. So, odds makers are thinking knockout for sure.